David, Rittenhouse gave really memorable testimony today. Did it help him or hurt him?
You know, Shep, I think it hurt him more than it helped him. It was very emotional. My experience, having tried dozens of cases, you can't tell which jurors felt moved and which ones felt manipulated. He was very clearly, effectively coached. Prosecution's cross-examination was a slow burn, but toward the second half, I think they scored a lot of points.
A slow burn. The defense today asked for a mistrial with prejudice. They have a case.
Not for a mistrial with prejudice. I'm on the fence about whether or not they could get a mistrial. And Shep, I think what the judge really wants is for them to sweat it all night long before they come back in. He's not going to declare it with prejudice. It's harder for me to guess whether or not he would actually declare a mistrial.
Man, the prosecutor took a lot from this judge today for his line of questioning with the jury right while the jury was out of the room. How big of a problem is that for the prosecution for the rest of this trial? I mean, you want a friend in the judge. You don't want an enemy.
You do, Shep. I would say in general, if you're never making a judge angry, you're probably not doing your job as a trial lawyer. Now, with that in mind, the reason it hurts the prosecution is because the one advantage you have as a prosecutor is you are perceived as being a person of integrity. You're the only lawyer that people actually want to believe. And so not only do you have the judge yelling at you, and I've never been at a courthouse where if they're yelling in court, they don't hear that in the jury room. Yesterday, you had a witness accuse you of trying to get him to change a statement. And then you also had Fifth Amendment violations today. Looks like you're not following the rules. That's not good going into closing arguments when you're the prosecutor.
The first count, the 4 shots against the first victim, that's one thing. Then there's the next victim. Is there one along the, or I should say one who was shot. Is there one along the way in your estimation where the prosecution might have a better case than in the others?
You know, I think they have the best case on the first shooting of Rosenbaum, Shep. However, I also have to note that some of the arguments the defense is making appeal to people who carry guns. For example, saying, I think he might grab my gun, and if he does, even though the gun is strapped to my body, I think he may take it and use it against me, is not lethal force. But people who carry guns tend to see it that way. And that will carry the day with the jury more so than technical legal arguments will.
Deadly force, you knew he was going to die. They pressed that over and over. Effective?
I think that was effective, Shep. In fact, I thought they should have scrapped the entire first half of their cross-examination and jumped straight to that point, because one thing Rittenhouse does demonstrate is he has a high level of skill with that rifle. He hit his targets the way he was shooting at him. And he has forced to admit that, yes, he knew he was aiming and he knew those blows would be lethal. And that's exactly what they were.
The trial continues tomorrow. We'll have coverage. David, thank you.